Following a win and a second at Donington, the early series leader is the 35-year-old Scot, Neil Mackenzie, and he's on form here with pole position. That qualifying place holds good for both races. Not bad for his first visit to Thruxton in 10 years. Second race winner at Donington, Terry Rymer, missed qualifying here as he was racing for Suzuki France in the Le Mans 24 Hour, so he starts right at the back of the grid. A last-minute dash by Air, a thumbs up, and Terry looks confident. Mackenzie then on pole, teammate Whittam alongside him, Jim Moody, Steve Hislop the reigning champion, 94 champion Simpson is on the second row, Graham Ward, Ray Stringer the Kawasaki privateer, and Michael Rutter. Third row, Chris Walker, Matt Llewellyn, David Jeffries on the only Honda in the race, and Dean Ashton. Fourth row, Brett Sampson, Tom Knight, Andy Hatton with mechanical problems won't start, and Alex Buckingham. Watch the lights then, green flag at the back of the grid as the red goes to green. A few gaps in the grid here at Thruxton, but the right-hander of Allard, they dive into it. Whittam had a good start, Hislop on the Kawasaki riding number one also, but it's Jim Moody, the 34-year-old Glaswegian, Jim Moody who leads. Number 21 then, Moody leads from fellow Scot Steve Hislop on the Kawasaki, who confesses to having had massive handling problems around here in qualifying. Let's hope he gets it sorted. But Ducati leads. The Kawasaki of Hislop then in second. Then it's Whittam. Mackenzie number 30, the champion. Oh, and Chris Walker number 8 didn't start. So Walker left on the line, devastated obviously, because he had that massive crash at Donington. He's not going to score in this one. Jim Moody, though, meanwhile, having scored in both races at Donington, looking to get a consistent scorecard here at Thruxton, looking very well and going away. There's number 3, Jamie Whittam, yet to open his score sheet. 2 zeros, a mechanical failure and a crash in rounds 1 and 2. So the 27-year-old from Huddersfield with a bit to do, but he's in third. Hislop number 1 then diving up the inside and going for the lead. Steve Hislop on the Kawasaki leads with Jamie Whittam going through, pushing Moody down to third. Steve, this circuit here looking a bit bumpy.
It's a very, very bumpy circuit, and really you do have to get that bike handling well. The Yamahas look pretty good, but there's no doubt Steve Hislop seems to have some problems through the fast corners. At this point, Terry Rymer has 29 riders in front of him, and he'll be battling his way through the pack. A hard job he has. Now they're coming into one of the slower parts of the circuit, into the Campbell corner. This is a third gear corner. We see now Whittam goes through there into first place. So number 3, Whittam takes the lead through the complex there. He's up into fourth gear at this point, accelerating hard through to the faster parts of the circuit. And a problem there for Matt Llewellyn. Matt Llewellyn off the circuit. His tyres will be dirty, so he'll have to be careful.
A big shake of the rear end from number 3, Jamie Whittam. Hislop, though, looking as though he might have got his factory Kawasaki just a little bit sorted. They've had all sorts of suspension problems. Even the Öhlins mechanics, the Swedish suspension company, are just a little bit puzzled. Mackenzie then going through on the inside of Jim Moody. So number 21, Jim Moody now relegated to 4th place. Neil Mackenzie, the series leader, into 3rd. Hislop number 1 making a dash round the outside on the fastest part of the circuit. As they come up to the chicane, Mackenzie dives into 2nd. So Neil Mackenzie trails his teammate, the Yamaha teammate Jamie Whittam. Yamaha 1st, Yamaha 2nd, Kawasaki 3rd, Ducati 4th, Ducati 5th. And this is shaping up into a spectacular race. No sign yet of Terry Rymer, number 7, who started at the back of the pack. Can he fight his way through, Steve?
Well, I think he can get into the top 3 or 4, but to win this race would be an incredible feat. But we can now see him. Terry Rymer is just behind race stringer number 17 that we're looking at. So Rymer has already fought his way up towards the leading pack. Number 17 there, race stringer. And here we see Rymer coming through. Number 7 there, Rymer on the Ducati. Now, he has come through some 14 or 15 riders so far, so he's got a lot of work to do, and the front runners will be the hardest to catch, there's no doubt.
Terry Rymer then, number 7 on the bike, is in 7th place in the race. Ahead of him, the privately entered Kawasaki of Ray Stringer, which is proving to be very, very fast indeed. Ahead of Stringer, the 2 Ducati pairing of Moody and Simpson. The Scottish Ducati team members side by side, riding very, very consistently. The Yamaha pairing, numbers 30 and 3. Mackenzie and Whittam at the head of the pack. Hislop just holding station there. Whittam outbraking Mackenzie, but no, Mackenzie with his nose in front. All 7 of them then bunched up at the chicane as they approach the start finish. One more time, over the line they go. Neil Mackenzie leads. Number 3, Jamie Whittam. Then it's Hislop. Then it's Ian Simpson, 22. Then it's Ray Stringer. And Jim Moody now, number 21, has been dropped to the back of the pack, Steve.
Now we're on board with Terry Rymer as we're coming through into one of the slower corners. We're into the complex system here, Campbell corner. It's a third gear corner as they accelerate round this one, flicking it left, just up into fourth gear at this point. As they exit this complex section here, fourth gear, changing up into fifth. Now they're coming out into the back part of the circuit. We're looking at Ray Stringer in front of us on the Kawasaki. They're coming now into fifth gear corner, about 120 miles an hour, as they accelerate up towards the fastest corner on the circuit, which is Church Corner. Now they're still in fifth gear. You'll hear the engine revs go up. We're on board the Ducati now, about 10,000 RPM, which is much, much less than the four-cylinder machines that rev to 14,000. Now we're doing 158 miles an hour, braking here. This is the fast corner on the circuit, Church Corner. Now we're onto the main straight of the circuit at speeds of 170 miles an hour before they break down into the tight chicane, a second gear corner.
Terry Rymer then relegating the 1994 champion Ian Simpson into 6th. Rymer is in 5th, and ahead of him he has Ray Stringer, and Ray Stringer from Stoke Golding, an extremely determined competitor. He will not give second best to Terry Rymer. Rymer knows that. He's going to have to work exceptionally hard to catch the flying Kawasaki ahead of him. Rymer then number 7. Race leader still Neil Mackenzie. There he is. Second place 3, Whittam. 1, Hislop. There's Stringer. There's Terry Rymer. Remember, this man started at the back of the bunch. What a phenomenal ride he's having. And ahead of him now, Ray Stringer throwing the Kawasaki from left to right. It looks to be handling so much better than the factory Kawasaki of Steve Hislop. Having said that, the Ducati of Terry Rymer we're riding with, shaking its head just a little bit, and that Kawasaki of Ray Stringer's is pretty quick, Steve.
Yeah, it's very fast. In fact, Ray Stringer was telling me the speeds on the circuit from his data logging equipment, which is an onboard computer that can give the readout of the speeds on the corners. Rymer going through there. Rymer having a look on the inside of Ray Stringer, but Ray Stringer is a tough man to pass. But no, he's not able to get through. We saw Ray Stringer cut back. Ray Stringer, as I said, was telling me about the data logging system. It monitors a number of things via sensors on the bike as to what's going on. Suspension travel, engine temperatures, all types of things that can be downloaded after the race. Here we are going into the chicane now, and Ray Stringer's gone through one other place there. So Stringer, number 17, has made up a place, and Rymer is still pushing hard to try and catch number 1, Steve Hislop. Hislop has a look over his shoulder as they go over the start and finish line.
Ray Stringer then now up to 3rd with the Yamaha pairing ahead of him. Terry Rymer now closing on the rear end of reigning champion Steve Hislop on the Kawasaki. The 2 Yamahas with number 17 Stringer breathing down their neck. Hislop doing a sterling job on that Kawasaki, throwing it right, left into the complex now. Out they come again. Look at Ray Stringer going through. Look at Hislop and Terry Rymer as well. Nothing between them. It is just oh so close here at Thruxton. Rymer on the inside, but Hislop gamely fighting back to keep the Ducati ace behind him. Remember, Terry Rymer, only 1 score so far, but it was a race win. Is this going to be race win number 2? You could not get closer, Steve.
That was an incredible shot once again as Rymer had a look on the exit from Village Corner. They're accelerating down towards Church. Rymer has the inside line here. That should stand him in good stead through the corner. And once again, Hislop will try and tuck into the slipstream, and he does. The Kawasaki probably has the edge on the Ducati down the straight, and we see him passing now using the slipstream situation. But Rymer, I think, will be late on the brakes. And he is. Rymer keeps that advantage as they go into the chicane. Down through the gearbox, 6th, 5th, 4th, into 2nd gear for this tight corner as Rymer exits there in 2nd gear.
Well, he fought his way, muscled his way past Hislop indeed. Teammate Chris Walker, dejected, looking over the pit wall, encouraging Terry Rymer on. The 2 Yamaha men, Ray Stringer, number 17, is now much closer. He's right on the back wheel of... Oh, Jamie Whittam locks the back end up, almost steps off, and through. That's Ray Stringer. Ray Stringer down on the right-hander at the complex. He's up and well, but Jamie Whittam almost got it crossed up. Steve, was that a factor in Stringer's downfall?
Well, it looked like Jamie Whittam ran in there a little on the far side, and Stringer tried to follow him. We see at this point Whittam got into some problems. He braked really late here. The rear wheel came in the air, but he's run wide. He's gone very, very wide. Stringer saw what was going on, and I think he was probably concerned he might run into the back of Jamie Whittam. But if you're going to fall down at Thruxton, that's the best corner to do it on. You can see there's plenty of runoff area. It's just a few scratches and scrapes on the bike, and Ray Stringer luckily is up and okay. But that's allowed Terry Rymer to catch the two leading Yamahas. Now Rymer is right behind Whittam, and they really have a battle on here now, because Rymer has seen the mistake that Whittam made. He probably feels that he's in some problems, and you can see the bike weaving around. Rymer goes round the outside, but I'm not sure if he's going to have the right line for the fast church corner, and he does. Rymer just didn't brake hardly for that corner, so he has taken out a huge amount on Whittam, and he's now catching Mackenzie as they come up to this fast part again, as I said, in excess of 170 miles an hour at this point as he breaks in late, and he really is closing in on Neil Mackenzie, and Whittam is right there too.
Sensational stuff. The Ducati meet then in the Yamaha sandwich here. Terry Rymer, number 7, is up to second place from the back of the grid. Ahead of him, Neil Mackenzie, 10 years since he rode at Thruxton, a similar length of time. Having said that, for Terry Rymer, the Ducati pit ecstatic about his performance, and so they should be. Is he going to pull off the coup of the season so far and have a back-to-front win here? Neil Mackenzie clearly has other ideas. He's fighting tooth and nail to keep Terry Rymer behind him, and he's got all the guile, all the experience of his 34 years, a lot of which was spent on the Grand Prix scene, and he's riding the wheels off the number 30 Yamaha to keep Terry Rymer at bay. Jamie Whittam has now fallen off just a little bit from the leading pair. Terry Rymer taking a long swoop round the outside. Has the Ducati got the legs? I'm not sure. The Yamaha, the new 1996 Yamaha, very, very quick indeed. The curb camera showing you just how quick they are, and they are approaching now the left-hander out towards the long climb up of Woodham Hill, the fastest part of the circuit, 170 miles an hour, approaching the chicane, and Rymer's gone through. Terry Rymer leads, Mackenzie in second, Jamie Whittam now in third, and Rymer is in front. Steve, is he going to stay there?
Well, I think he probably is. He's done all the hard work, and it's quite incredible that he could have come from the back of the grid to take the lead in this race. It will have knocked the confidence out of the Yamaha team, there's no question, because Rymer has battled his way right from the back, and to give them that kind of advantage is virtually unheard of. So Rymer now in front. Now the only advantage that Mackenzie has is he can follow Rymer, he can see how he's got around here so fast. And here we drop back to the 4-bike battle for 7th place. This is a rear-facing camera on Michael Rutter's Ducati, looking at David Jeffries on the only Honda in the race, bike number 9, actually in 9th spot.
Mike Rutter running in 8th place. Ahead of him, Graham Ward, number 57. There's Michael Rutter, number 4, the 23-year-old from Bridge North. And this is the last lap. Terry Rymer then, with less than 2 miles of the Thruxton circuit to do, and a very determined Neil Mackenzie behind him. Unbelievable as it sounds, Terry Rymer, an overnight dash from the Le Mans 24-hour. No qualifying here at Thruxton, and he's leading into the closing stages of this round 3. And Neil Mackenzie is, oh, and as I say so, Mackenzie's making a late dash at the chicane. He's got it. Mackenzie's there. He is leading now with just, oh, dear me, over the curve goes Mackenzie. Rymer back in front. Jamie Whittam grabs second. Neil Mackenzie got it all wrong. All wrong over the curb. What a shame for the Scotsman. He'd calculated that one. He meant business. Terry Rymer cannot believe it. What a sensational win for Rymer, moving him on to win number 2. Mackenzie knows he should have won that one, but he was third. Terry Rymer confirmation then. Whittam second. Jim Moody consistently there in 4th place. Moody's teammate Simpson, reigning champ Hislop, was 6th. Graham Ward and Michael Rutter was 8th.
So as Terry Rymer celebrated his superb victory, there was no time to relax as he had another race coming up in the shape of round 4. Again, Rymer started from the back of the grid, and all eyes were on him as he muscled his way through the field into 6th place by the end of lap 5. It looked as though Rymer could have challenged for the lead once again, were it not for a cam belt failure that would force the Ducati rider into retirement.
I knew I had the race in the bag. You know, I was happy just to walk away from here with some points, and by the time I got through, I knew I could win the race. 100% I could win the race, and the bike stopped. I'm just so disappointed for Old Spice, Ducati and everyone really, because, and all the mechanics, they worked so hard this weekend, and I've worked really hard, you know, coming from a 24-hour race. This is the worst thing that could have happened to me, it really is. I'm so disappointed. I know that I can go out and win 80 or 90% of the rest of the races now.
A confident statement from one of the best riders in the business, but he has a very hard fight on his hands if Neil Mackenzie and Jamie Whittam have anything to do with it. The Yamaha teammates had a race-long duel for the lead, followed closely by number 17, Ray Stringer, riding his privately entered Kawasaki. Stringer incredibly kept up with the Yamahas to the flag, which saw Mackenzie win for the second time in 4 races, ahead of Whittam, who was satisfied with another second place. But the Man of the Meeting award went to Ray Stringer on his Kawasaki in 3rd, ahead of Top Works Kawasaki rider Steve Hislop in 6th. For Mackenzie, though, not a bad day's work.
We've got to keep racking up points. I mean, I don't want to rack up points anymore. I want to try and win as many races as possible because it's been a long time. So I just like to try and enjoy winning some races, and bike keeps going like it is. Cadbury's Yamaha is fantastic, and just hope it keeps going that way.
Well, Mackenzie's terrific, isn't he? 86 points scored from a possible 100, so just 14 dropped. 94 champ Ian Simpson, however, very consistently there in second place. Terry Rymer, 50 points from just 2 finishes. And the reigning champ Steve Hislop on 40, still a bit to do. Mackenzie then with a very healthy lead, but if anyone can stop him, Terry Rymer can.